Hi, this is Sana, and welcome to my channel, the Sana K. Bokhari channel. Today I want to talk to you about chronic emotional eating. Are you a chronic emotional eater? If you exercise regularly and eat right but are still struggling with weight because of being a chronic emotional eater like I used to be, then I want to share with you a helpful approach about how one can overcome this problem of being a chronic emotional eater. Do you know if you are an emotional eater? Well, how can you know that? Well, one of the ways that you can identify yourself as being an emotional eater is if you know that you eat to comfort yourself in response to stressful or hurtful situations. Emotional eaters are most vulnerable to eat out of control with huge portion sizes when they are not feeling centered and balanced due to negative situations that have just taken place in their life. Eating too much to feel better will only add to one's life's problems by contributing to weight problems, health problems, and related self-esteem problems. The food won't help you to resolve your negative thoughts and emotions. It will only add to your weight problems, as the challenge you faced had nothing to do with the food in the first place. So, what causes people to eat out of control in a negative emotional state? Some examples of possible causes are when anything unfortunate, unpleasant, stressful, hurtful, upsetting, or depressing has happened, like someone you cared about passed away, or you lost your job, or you had a bad day at work. In my case, I first observed myself being an emotional eater when my grandfather had a massive heart attack. When you are not in a balanced state of mind, then you are vulnerable to eat to comfort yourself, eating too much and many times eating the wrong foods. When you feel unhappy due to something negative happening in your life, then you can do the following to change your pessimistic mood into a good mood and hence curb the possibility that one feels of wanting to stuff one's face with food in order to try to numb the emotional pain. When you identify that right now you're not feeling too good, then the next step is to figure out which activity will move you in the direction of feeling better, aside from eating. To get to a balanced, centered, and more harmonious state of mind, we can try to disconnect from the emotion-based craving to eat and instead change our focus to an activity that will help us to get into a good mood. For example, an activity that can get you into a good mood might be like going for a walk, or talking to someone, playing a sport, reading something, or writing something like a poem or a song, listening to music and singing along, watching a comedy show. These are all activities, and there can be way more activities than this that do not involve eating and that help to change your emotional state from a negative one into a positive one, and that help to distance you from your desire to eat out of control just out of emotions. It's all about thoughts. Yes, the event happened, but now it's all about your thoughts about the event that took place, as your thoughts shape your feelings, and you don't want to be at the mercy of your thoughts and the corresponding feelings, as you don't want to be a victim of your thoughts and feelings. So what you have to do is you have to identify your negative thoughts and respond to your thoughts on paper. Write down the issue that was making you feel the need to comfort yourself through food in the first place. For example, you had a bad day at work. How is that issue making you feel? Write down all the corresponding feelings in great detail. Then write down the counter thought to each feeling, meaning the opposite thought. So we'll go with the example that I just said earlier, which is that you had a bad day at work. Let's say someone at your job yelled at you. So that is the issue that is upsetting you. Then on the piece of paper, write down how that issue is making you feel. For instance, you may write that it's making you feel inferior to others and lacking in your ability or in your abilities. Now write down the opposite thought to any negative feelings that you've listed. Like the counter thought in this case is that you are not really inferior to anyone, as God loves everyone, including you, and He loves us all very much. So you can't be less than anyone, as you are loved by the Creator, and everything He creates is magnificent. You have to get out of that negative emotional state of feeling bad as quickly as possible in order to not allow the bad feeling to lead you into overeating in an attempt to try to feel better through the momentary high that you get from eating. The key is to get your power back and not give it away to the negative emotions you are feeling. Once you're centered, then you're in a much better place to figure out how to overcome your sad feelings and thoughts by reviewing them on paper and changing them into more positive and productive thoughts and their accompanying feelings. Also, the very best practice is that instead of looking to food for comfort, look to God for comfort from life's issues. And the best way to do this is in talking to God through prayer. My grandfather passed away a few years ago, but when he was alive, I think the best advice he gave me was, "Sana, whenever you have a problem, then talk to God about it." If you try out this approach that I have shared with you, then hopefully, if you keep exercising and eating right, then you will be better prepared for those challenging moments that make you want to eat emotionally and out of control. You will be better able to overcome the cravings by controlling your thoughts and emotions, and as a result, you will hopefully start to see your weight loss efforts finally becoming successful. So friends, those were my thoughts on this topic, and if you have benefited from this approach that I've shared with you, then I hope that you will subscribe to my channel and be sure to click on the bell icon for future notifications about my upcoming video and audio uploads. Thank you for listening and have a great day ahead, and stay blessed. Thanks.